Welcome everyone. This is the webinar where you are going to get the information you need about the online course Principles and Applications of Geographic Information Systems and Remote Sensing, an online course offered by Faculty ITC of the University of Twente. This webinar will follow the structure I will now show you. So I will start by introducing myself, then we will take a look at the relevance and what is the knowledge field of this course. Then just a note on what ITC faculty is all about, what the course consists of, so what are you going to learn with this course, what are the benefits of online education, what are the entry requirements and what you should know about the course, and finally we will take a quick look at some of testimonials of former students of this course. Now, my name is André Mano. I am a lecturer here at ITC, and I'm also the course coordinator of this online course. You will also see me teaching some of the units of this course. As you already know, many of the global and local challenges we are facing have a spatial component. In other words, the where is a fundamental question when addressing them. As an example of that, just take a look at the United Nations Sustainable Goals. So if you just look at them, all of them have a spatial component, meaning that we have to know where things are in order to tackle them. So in order to tackle these goals, a myriad of industries and services will be required, which means that the demand for spatial thinkers will tend to increase. Now, are you a spatial thinker? Well, if you find yourself often looking for the location, shapes and patterns of a phenomena that caught your attention, it probably means that you are a spatial thinker. Here at Faculty ITC, we equip our students to face some of mankind's greatest challenges, balancing the use of natural resources with the preservation of ecosystems by providing geoinformation and geo-management tools. Our vision is that spatial solutions will play an increasingly important role in meeting many of mankind's complex challenges, often called wicked problems, such as climate change, population growth, and related claims for sufficient and secure food, water, energy, health, land, and housing provision. Our students learn how to take a multidisciplinary approach to problem solving, benefiting from the University of Twente's pioneering position in an exciting new field of research, the interaction between technologies and society. Faculty ITC of the University of Twente has a long experience in education and online short courses. These courses are offered to international students from all over the world. And actually, I have here an interesting map where you can see from where our students have come from in the past years. So, as you can see, we have students from all over the world. Now, let's see exactly what is the online course about. The course Principles and Applications of Geographic Information Systems and Remote Sense will provide you with a strong theoretical and practical education on the fundamentals of spatial thinking. It will introduce you to the concepts and tools that you need to become a spatial thinker, while giving a good foundation to either continue to a complete Master of Science in the future or to start bringing spatial solutions into your professional activity. The course consists of 3 individual courses of 10-week duration each, 50 European credits for 3 modules of 5 EC each. The first of these courses is Geographic Information Science and Modeling, which focuses on geographic information systems and science. The second course is Earth Observation, covering remote sensing image analysis from spaceborne and airborne sensors. And finally, Data Integration, where the concepts and techniques learned in the previous courses come together to solve real-world problems. Now, let's take a closer look at each of these courses individually. So, the first one is Geographic Information Science and Modeling. The main objective of this course is that you will be able to understand what geographic information science is. Understanding geographic information science will require that you use a geographic information system to enter, manipulate, analyze, model, visualize, and disseminate geospatial data. Now, several learning outcomes are defined for this course, and the main ones are that After this course, you will get a solid knowledge of geographic information science, and you will learn how to think spatially, how to address the where component that I just mentioned before of any spatial problem. Of course, you learn this along with practical hands-on experience. So you will work with GIS software during the exercises. So the concepts that you learn go hand in hand with practical exercises. Now, what are the topics exactly of this course? So the course starts by explaining how real-world objects are abstracted and represented in a computer. Once this knowledge is acquired, the course delves into more specific subjects of geographic information system, like coordinate systems and cartographic projections, also principles of databases and how can you organize the data in your computer. We also take a look on how to perform spatial analysis using raster and also vector datasets. We also address aspects of data quality, which basically means you are supposed to understand if the datasets that you have at hand are the appropriate ones to solve whatever problem you have at hand. And finally, the last unit of the course is about visualization and principles of map making. Now, the second course, so this is the first course that will run for 10 weeks, then you will have a one week break, and then the second course starts. The second course is dedicated to Earth observation. Now, Earth observation by remote sensing is what the faculty ITC actually focuses on as one of the primary data sources for analyzing system Earth. The variety of data sources and their specifications offer tremendous possibilities. But it is thus up to you to make a sensible selection of data sources. Therefore, it is important to know on what basis you can make a proper selection of both remote sense data and processing alternatives. We envisage that in the end, you will realize that proper use of remote sensing data for Earth observation is not a sinecure. It requires thorough understanding of physical basics, image characteristics, and insight in the objective and limitations of processing methods, next to the availability and integration with in situ measurements and other data sources. Now, this course aims at several learning outcomes. The main ones are highlighted here in this slide, and I will just briefly describe exactly what are the units that make this course. But before I go into that, as learning outcomes for Earth observation, these ones are the ones that are the most important. So you will understand the physics of electromagnetic radiation, which is basically the basis of all remote sensing knowledge. You will learn how to apply pixel-based digital image classification, apply radiometric and geometric corrections to your images, and learn how to select the most suitable sensor and images to solve specific problems that you may have at hand. Now, the Earth observation starts, as I said, by exploring the physics of electromagnetic radiation. After this knowledge is acquired, you will have the fundamental theoretical basis to understand more specific concepts and applications of remotely sensed data. Among these, the course covers the topics of satellite positioning, radiometric and geometric operations, visual image interpretation, and digital image classification. Along this path, you will also learn how to assess and compare the characteristics of different image sensors with respect with their fit for purpose. This last goal, the comparison and understanding and distinguishing what are the most appropriate images and sensors, is achieved by the use of a case study. So there is a small case study that runs parallel to the course that basically means that you will work in a group, you will work with your peers in analyzing and selecting what are the characteristics of certain sensors and which of those sensors will give you the image that you need. So it is not just about the physics or software-based operations, it's very much focused on understanding if the images that you have at hand are the ones that you need. And finally, on what course contents concerns, let me introduce you to the last part of the course, data integration. Understanding the world involves understanding that the planet Earth is an entity which functions through a complex web of interrelated processes at various scales in 4 dimensions, the 3 spatial dimensions and time. Therefore, this module takes a systems approach to the use, acquisition and understanding of geographic information and Earth observation data. Therefore, the module requires pre-knowledge in GIS and Earth observation. This will be combined and help you to understand how the use of geoinformation is related to a systems view of the real-world application problems. The module is clustered into 3 main topics: System Earth, use and users of geographic information data, and processes of data integration. Data integration consists of a strong introduction through exercises and study material on the principles of system modeling. From there, you are introduced to web services in geodata portals and how the uses and users of such data have to be considered when you are working with spatial data. On a more hands-to-hand side, you will learn about resampling, multitemporal analysis, and change detection. So, as you can see, all these topics, especially the previous ones on resampling, change detection, multitemporal analysis, require that you already have a good foundation on geographic information science and Earth observation in order to fully understand these topics or these analytical approaches. Therefore, it is important to understand that Module 3 is the culmination of what you learned in the previous 2 modules. Now, continue on the description of Module 3. It is also important to highlight that apart from aside or on top of the units that make this topic itself, so the users and users, techniques of data integration, and understanding System Earth, there is a case study. And a case study is a real case scenario, so we provide you with the data, with the description, with user constraints and all of that. And on that use case, you are supposed to apply whatever techniques you consider that are relevant in order to solve at least partially that case study. So it's a final integration study where you will be working very closely with your supervisor and with your teachers, and it is designed to bring all that you learn together into one meaningful set. Now, so this is what this course consists of. So the course runs through 9 months, so it will start in February and it will end in November. And you have a 2-month break during the summer. Now, it's important to address, now that you have a more specific idea of what the course is about, it's important to now address what are the advantages of taking this course. So, first, please realize that this online course produces exactly the same learning outcomes as the similar content in the face-to-face course that starts here at ITC. Online education also takes in a similarly international, though virtual, environment. So most likely you will have colleagues from all over the world. Consequently, this could also be the head start for a full master's or a sensible way for you to get a taste of the full face-to-face program and then determine if you want to go deeper in these fields of geoinformation. Another important advantage of this course, at least in our perspective, is that it is taught exclusively with open source software, which means that you will always have the tools at your disposition later in your academic or professional life without depending on proprietary and often expensive tools. And finally, it is never too much to stress that you can continue your studies here at ITC after you complete this online course and get your full Master of Science degree. The course assumes a workload of up to 14 hours a week on average. Of these 14 hours, 2 hours are mandatory contact hours in the form of virtual classrooms or chat sessions, which are basically synchronous moments where your colleagues and the teachers are all together at the same time in the form of these video conferences or chat sessions. So that means that the other 12 hours are up to you. So you are free to manage your time. Apart from these 2 mandatory contact hours, you are free to manage your time. Now, what are the requirements to be admitted to this course? So the first requirement is that you are expected to have an academic level and background at the level of bachelor. In terms of in what field should your bachelor is, because this is the first step for the Master of Science here at ITC, and we have several specializations. The range of backgrounds of your bachelor is very wide. So it can be biology, it can be architecture, it can be spatial planning, it can be computer science. So it is not very strict on that respect. So if you have a bachelor and you are not sure if your bachelor provides a good background to take this course, just contact us, drop us an email, and we will assess your case individually. Secondly, another mandatory requirement is that you have to have a good knowledge of the English language, because the course is taught in English, everything is in English, and this English knowledge has to be certified through an exam, a TOEFL exam or a Cambridge exam or something similar. So you need to have a document that testifies that you have a good English level. And finally, and this is something that sometimes people underestimate, but it is very important, make sure that you have a good internet connection, because you are studying online, and if your internet connection is not that good, you might find yourself in a situation where you will not be taking the most of the course because you have difficulty streaming the videos or joining the virtual classrooms with your colleagues. So make sure that you have a good internet connection, or that you have access to facilities that provide you such internet connection. So that is also something important, and don't underestimate it. The fees for this online course can be found online at our website. And also please check if your country is listed in the ODA ones, because if you're coming from one of these countries, the tuition fee will be lower. Regarding funding is only available if you proceed to study in the Master of Science after completing this online course. It is a good idea to also explore the possibility of funding via your current employer or company. Now, because we are always trying to make this online course better, the reviews of former students count a lot for us. Here you can see what Inti, an alumnus from Nicaragua, wrote about our online course. For him, one of the great advantages of the course was the chance he had to combine family life and obligations with studying. And that is something that, from our experience, we found that it is highly valued by the students that we had, is that it is a course that allows you to conciliate with family life and working life. So if you can't study full time, this might be an excellent option for you, just like Ini did. So to finalize, I would say that if you are searching for an online course which enables you to combine family-work lifestyle, then this is probably the right course for you. For more information, have a look at our website. We will also be here now with you for some minutes via the chat to answer any questions you might have, any topics or any doubts that were not covered by this webinar. We will be here to answer your questions. And above all, I hope that this gave you a very good idea, a very good overview of what the course Principles and Applications of Geographic Information Sciences and Remote Sensing is all about. We hope to virtually meet you online in our course, or who knows, later here face-to-face to complete your Master of Science. And keep in mind that you will receive the recording of this webinar by email soon. So my colleagues are now available in the live question and answering chat to answer any questions you might have. Don't be shy and drop us your questions. We will be available for answering them in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you.